Paul, what is next on our primary news agenda?
So this is fun. So Julian Castro essentially ran out of money, which is a thing Steve Kornacki doesn't think you need anymore.
Money isn't speech. Nobody cares about money.
Right. So he dropped out of the race, and as is common when you have someone who's middle tier, like they had some base of support, but still very low single digits. I think at most was getting around 4% at some point, or 5 maybe. But like kind of leveled off at that 1-2%. There's a lot of like, ooh, who's going to get his endorsement? And I'm just sitting there going, who really wants Julian Castro's endorsement? Right. So it's only going to go to someone who can sort of is going to be like, appeal to the left leaning base, but only in like the surfacey level ways as best you can, because really like we still have the big donors we got to look out for. So like a big donor establishment style candidate that has appeal to the left wing, whether it be intersectional appeal or just a sort of Bernie style appeal.
Yeah,
or whatever.
he's had some progressive leading policies.
Progressive, immigration policies were a big one for Castro. Anyway, he has gone ahead and endorsed Elizabeth Warren, which is to me the most yawn-inducing headline.
I thought so too. Yeah. I was the one who actually picked this story, and it was like an arm twist of a pick for me, because I was like, we should mention it at the very least, because it's supposedly a really big deal. And in my opinion, what it really is like a tossing in of the hat for the vice presidency. What do you think about that angle?
Yeah, that's what you would want to do with an endorsement like that. I have a hard time seeing Warren going the distance there. Maybe that's what Julian's thinking.
That's what I thought. I'm super cynical. I'm just like, he just wants to be a running mate because he sees her winning, because she has a good chance of winning. And if you were vying for or putting yourself in a position to, be a running mate of someone who is polling consistently as one of the top 3 candidates in the Democratic primary, you would align behind it. And one of the reasons that I also went in that direction in my assumptions is that the other 2 candidates that are polling largely in the top 3 is frickin' Bernie Sanders and Biden. And in my assessment, candidates aren't going to be choosing other candidates of the same gender. And it's unlikely that Biden or Sanders would choose a non-female running mate. And I think it would be very unlikely for Warren to choose a female running mate.
You think it's unlikely that Sanders would choose a female running mate?
That it's unlikely that he would choose a male running mate, like Julian Castro. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's why.
I was gonna say, like, do you know who like people are really saying his running mate should be?
Nina Turner. Yeah, absolutely. No, and I agree with that. Among some other things that I've heard, but that's why I thought, this is him tossing his hat in for a vice presidential bid. That was my thought.
Yeah. Cabinet position, something like that.
Or cabinet position, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Which he was housing and urban development for Obama. Is that right?
Was he HUD? I don't know. I feel really bad for not knowing now.
I feel really bad for bringing that up without being sure about it, but I'm sure someone in the chat will correct me if I am wrong, or we could figure it out at some point during the show and correct ourselves if that is not the case. But yeah, so a lot of non-news there, and but an update,
ho-hum, right?
Yeah, but just an update for y'all.